President Trump is set to announce the United States will provide a new arsenal of weapons for Ukraine, including some with primarily offensive capabilities, according to a report from Axios. The outlet cites two sources familiar with the knowledge of the plans who said long-range missiles capable of striking as far into Russia as Moscow could be included in this round of weapons. Yesterday, the president was asked about aid for Ukraine. Here is his response.
I'm going to have a meeting with the Secretary General who's coming in tomorrow, but we basically are going to send them various pieces of very sophisticated military, and they're going to pay us 100% for them. And that's the way we want it. And we've been trying to get that again. I don't think Biden ever asked for it. I haven't agreed on the number yet, but they're going to have some because they do need protection. But the European Union is paying for it. We're not paying anything for it, but we will send it. It'll be business for us, and we will send them Patriots, which they desperately need, because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice, and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there, and I don't like it.
Let's bring around the columnist and associate editor for the Washington Post, David Ignatius. You know, David, while MAGA conferences may be talking about the Jeffrey Epstein files, there are tens of millions of Europeans that are focused on what Donald Trump is saying there.
Yes.
That his patience with Vladimir Putin is wearing thin. He talks nice during the day and he kills people at night with his bombs. And the fact that the president is stepping up, figuring out a way to work with our European allies to get the Ukrainian support. How important is that to the arc of this war?
So, Joe, we need to remember when we talk about Putin not being nice, on some nights last week, more than 700 drones and missiles were over Ukraine, many of them over Kyiv. The damage was largely in civilian areas. These were not, for the most part, military targets. So, yeah, that's not nice. So for 6 months now, President Trump has been alternating between making threats about Russia and returning to his initial hope that he could negotiate a peace deal. He finally seems to understand that without more pressure, he's not going to get anything like a resolution of this conflict, which he often speaks about emotionally. He speaks about the death on the battlefield, hundreds and thousands of people killed. So what this package involves, as he said, is the U.S. selling weapons to our NATO allies in Europe, who will then probably give them to Ukraine, and they'll include, most importantly, given this barrage on Ukrainian cities, Patriot missiles, which are really the only defense against the big ballistic missiles that Russia has been firing, and a range of other weapons. We don't know yet exactly whether they'll include deep strike weapons. That would be a significant escalation if the U.S. does put Moscow in range. That would be a big change from the limits that the Biden administration had imposed, typically 200 kilometers into Russia, not all the way to Moscow. So we'll wait and see about the details of the package. There are two issues that I would underline for your viewers. One is whether these new weapons, offensive and defensive, will be enough to change Vladimir Putin's calculus about whether this war is worth continuing. And the second is whether these new weapons and Trump's support for Ukraine is sustainable. Trump on Ukraine, as on so many other issues, has oscillated. 1 week he's here, another week he's there. And what Ukraine needs, as financial markets need, is reliability and predictability. They're fighting a war. Morale questions in this war, I think, are increasingly important. The Russians plan to launch an offensive through the summer and gain significant territory. So it's a moment for clear, sustained U.S. policy. We'll see today when Trump meets with the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, European Trump likes, because he's been a supporter of Trump's defense buildup policies. We'll see exactly what the details are. But again, the question is, can it be sustained, and will it actually change Putin's mind?
President Trump is now taking a stronger stand against Russia by planning to send powerful new weapons to Ukraine, including long-range missiles that could reach deep into Russian territory. While he says While he says Europe will pay for most of it, Trump is showing he's no longer patient with Putin's attack, especially after recent deadly bombing on Ukraine cities. Experts say this move could be a big turning point in the war. It sends the message that the US is serious about helping Ukraine defend itself, especially with Patriot missiles that can shoot down Russian rockets. However, there are still questions. Will this force Putin to rethink the war? And will Trump stick to this support or change his mind again? As Russia prepares for a major summer offensive, Ukraine needs not just weapons but consistent, reliable help. The world is watching to see if Trump's action match his thought talk. Thanks for watching this video, and if you want to support, that is always hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And if you stuck on to the end, you can drop a below words in the comment. And until next time, I will see you soon.